GM, give me 1 second. I'm gonna tweet this out real quick.
Boeing shorts.
What?
Engine fell off a plane apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, what in the world is happening right now?
That sweet quality control.
Man, that is wild. Let me look this up. Dude, I'm sorry. It has been a little bit of a chaotic afternoon. Decided last minute I wanted to go and check out the eclipse. So packing real quick for a road trip this evening. So
Nice.
knocking that out, and then in the midst of me starting to pack and get ready for all that, the neighbor comes and shoots over a text like, "Hey, are you home right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she's like, "Well, I think my house might blow up."
What?
So she's like, "Can you come over?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because I don't, I don't want, I don't know. Like, so I run over there, and of course, it did smell like gas immediately when I walked in. Apparently, they'd slept with the stove on
Oh
and
shit.
without the flame lit. So they had just been lighting like they had been, yeah. So
They
I
could have
helped
blown
them.
up, to be honest.
It really could have, to be honest. So I helped them air everything out, and they're still freaking out, and they're using our oven right now. So they probably have to come over here in like 20 something minutes. And honestly, I got to leave sometime soon, but we got to keep the streak alive, and we'll do a short but sweet space for the culture. So if you guys want to jump up here, join us for the conversation today, and shoot the shit, feel free to hit that request button and we'll bring you guys up here. Whether you want to talk about shorting Boeing, I should say, or whether you want to talk about NFTs, whether you want to talk about your neighbor and how they nearly blew up their house, feel free to hit that request button. We'll bring you guys up. Um, Rooster, but outside of the Boeing news, what else is going on, man?
Uh, I mean, shit, just still in the casino and the meme coin trenches. Hitting one win to cover, the 10 losses in between each one. And we're slowly and steadily keep grinding up the bonk bot bag. So, and then getting rugged on the AVAX memes, dude. I bought all the other memes for the staking at the top, apparently. So I probably didn't get any rewards, extra rewards for the
Oh
staking.
shoot, RIP. And then they still haven't given. I want those rewards, and they still haven't even let us claim them yet. Um, so that's frustrating. But dude, it always is little things like that. You know where it clicked to me that that would be a local top? When somebody said something about hyperspace, where they had the hyperspace program, and a big part of the um, incentive program for it was basically not selling your NFTs, right? Like you got a bonus for holding on to them, and like that kind of marked the local top for the AVAX NFTs as well. But anyway, like I mean, it's one of those things too. If you look at where we are in the cycle, it's still early enough. If you got conviction in something, like I still think everything's going to run it back. Like it's just market needed a breather. And even right now that I'm looking at it, it's like from the surface level, kind of looks like Bitcoin wants to rip, but I still am not buying it quite yet. Leading up to the halving, I just think that we're going to have a little bit more fuckery to be had as far as the price action. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've got another dip down before we rip up. And then, like,
The
even if we
price is going to
break,
be halved. That's what it is, right?
yeah, like
Bitcoin at
I just think
35K.
we're just in a bunch of chop right now, man. That's all that it is. Like I think that we're just in a state of chop, and that we will be for a while. Um, so yeah, but I mean, like we're less than 11 days away from the halving, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm doing my best not to overtrade. That's pretty much why I've been like staying in the casino because it keeps me occupied on my main
Mhm.
conviction bags. I'm just trying to sit and chill, sit and spot and chill, and not overtrade. Like honestly though, like something like no chill, I probably could have easily traded and stacked up 4 times my bag, but I didn't. I just let it ride. So there's sometimes some drawbacks with that, but for the main part, I'm just trying to sit and chill on my conviction bags.
Yeah, but like I see that, Rooster, but it's always easy to say that in hindsight, right? Because say for instance, like you pick any other previous range for it, and like say that you were the dude that was trading like the 3 to 5 mil range, and you exited your bag fully at the top of that, and you saw it drop all the way back down to like 1.8. You're probably feeling pretty thrilled, and you might be a little bit greedy and say, okay, well, I'm going to stack back in with conviction at 1 mil. And then when it never gets there and you just keep watching it up, like you end up sidelining yourself for another 6x. And I think that ends up happening with a lot of the time with high conviction plays whenever people do try to overtrade them, right? Like that's one thing where I don't know. If it's a high conviction play, overtrading or just trading it in general is usually not the best play.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly why I didn't do it, because I didn't want to get caught in a situation like that. Uh, so yeah, that's why I'm trying to just sit spot and chill, and then gamble on hopefully hitting 100x's, but actually getting in way too early, selling for a loss, and then at 100x's after you sell. That's typically been my play the past week, dude. Fuck.
No, I mean, yeah, that's typically how it goes. Um, yeah, dude, I'm ready for one more dip. Like, I really think that we get one more little dip down here before things end up ripping back up again. Like we got a nice little bounce off these lows where like Bitcoin touched 70K again this morning. But if you look at it, like it versus alts, it's still gaining on the dominance right now. Like it has still been outpacing the average large alt, right? Like, yeah, you've had some memes that are popping up in corners, but I feel like for the most part, everything's kind of taken a breather. And Bitcoin has been like the safest play, and it probably will be for a little bit longer. Um, like post halving, I think that we start to see that actually turn around where alts are going to be a little bit more bullish again. Um, and yeah, like I still just don't think that we really see too much of a break outside of this range for BTC for another couple months. And like, yeah, could it break above 75K for a little bit? And you know, yeah, sure. Like, I could it go back down beneath 60K for a bit? Sure, yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, big picture, I still am a big believer of the halving theory and the cycles, and I still think that like we're really early when it comes to what point of the cycle we are.
There is no second best.
I'm running down to check something. Oh, dang it. Okay, this I did not check. This girl put on the oven and she put a timer on her phone, and I did not set a timer on the oven. Who knows, man?
Now
I
she's
am
trying to blow up your house, dude.
maybe. It smells really good though. Whatever's in here. I'm not quite done yet. Screw it. She'll just send me a text whenever she needs to come over and take it out. Like it's on her at this point.
Big
I will
God, what's
say
poppin',
though,
man?
I had never really met the neighbors before, and the neighbors are kind of hot. Like, so it's not a totally terrible situation. Pick God, what's up, man? Welcome up to the stage.
What's going on, Clay? What's up, Rooster? Um, Dude, I had a question. Like I kind of agree I still think we're like in the earlier parts of the cycle, and I'm kind of a believer in the super cycle. I don't know how much you've been thinking about the ETH ETF application, but kind of seems like it's going to get denied in May and then maybe approved in December after some like litigation. Maybe it leads to like the coveted super cycle we've all been dreaming about. But I was going to ask, like with the BTC spot ETFs, like obviously it's had a pretty big impact on the price since they've launched, but like do you think that contributes to anything like speeding up the cycle? Like I know typically, when the halving happens, you might have like a couple weeks or months of like dormant, almost dormant, like price action relatively flat before like really picking up. But like when I think about the whole thing, I'm kind of thinking like, all right, like these institutions coming and basically front running the cycle, like narrative, having narrative. It kind of makes me think like BTC is a little further ahead than just maybe like the rest of the market. Maybe it kind of stays that way here for the next few months. But I was just kind of interested in what you would have to say on that.
Yeah, man, there are a lot of people that agree with you on that. And I don't know. I'm not in that camp myself. I kind of think that it just my theory is a little bit different. Rather than it being exhausted from that capital entering earlier, I think that it adds more potential energy to the equation for, when the upside of the cycle does happen. But I mean, I could easily be wrong. But that's kind of my take on it, is that it's just added a little bit more fuel to that to be able to send later on. So it just makes everything that comes after that much more explosive. But again, like I could easily be wrong. Other people could be right. It's just that's what makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, like I don't honestly, I don't really think. I think everyone in here probably doesn't think like the most violent leg up of the cycle has occurred. Like you go back and look at the previous chop around when you get back to the previous all time high in these cycles, and it usually happens for a couple weeks, maybe like a month and a half or so. I don't know what we're at now. I feel like we're at like 8 or 9 weeks, maybe around maybe less. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the charts. But like I agree, dude. When I think about BTC, man, I feel like one, the conditions, maybe like the financial conditions are still a little bit tight, and like we're heading towards probably like a time when we get some rate cuts. But at the same time, like the global narrative, I feel like it's just never been stronger, right? It's like you have big U.S. institutions buying. Like, what is the rest of the world about to do? Like I know B-Ways tweeted a while back something like no selling until there's like global froth, and I honestly feel the same way, right? Like I think that's where I was kind of getting into the point with like the super cycle. I think if the ETH ETF doesn't go get approved until December, it like basically helps prolong the cycle, right?
No, I fully agree. But like even thinking about it from the perspective of just the halving and everything that we got from that the previous cycle, like, it wasn't until 7 months after the last halving that things really started to get fun. Like that summer was pretty boring, but what did happen during that summer, you did have um, a lot of opportunity in things outside of Bitcoin and outside of the majors. Like that's where DeFi summer really kicked off, right? So I still think it's going to be something like that, where I think the majors are still going to be a little bit boring this summer, but you're still going to have like these pockets, whether it's meme coins or whatever else. Hey, maybe I mean after the points or the token drop for Friendtech and for Arena, maybe that actually propels something like SoFi back onto the scene. I think that there's going to be some other narrative. Who knows? I mean, maybe NFTs like finally start to get there. A little bit of momentum underneath them again, right? Like we are going to have some other narrative that really takes the place this summer. And yeah, so I just think it's a little bit different. Maybe Bitcoin's exhausted a little bit earlier, but like overall, I mean, it's just when you get this institutional inflow, and we've yet to really see retail enter in masses. I mean, I'm bullish as heck.
All right, like my last question. So like you talked about like a few pockets, maybe the majors are a little bit stagnant. Do you have any opinion on runes at all? Have you been like looking into that all? watching it kind of unfold pre-having here.
You said okay. One second. I'm sorry. I'm checking this casserole. You said on runes.
Yeah, like the
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit too out of the mix whenever it comes to that. Like, I would just be speaking out my ass on runes right now. B-Ways is the man to talk to.
well, good hearing from you. What's going on with your rooster? Anything else, brother?
Just waiting to get down to Florida with y'all in a week or two or so, whenever that is. Yeah, about 2 weeks, a little less when the happening happens. It's gonna be a blast. Can y'all hear me, or is my mic
No, I can
tripping?
hear you, man. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm doing like 5 things at once right now. All right. Shoot, this weekend is just insane. Are you guys doing anything for the the eclipse stuff tomorrow at all?
Nah, not really. I mean, like, yeah, I kind of wanted to head down to Texas to see it, but then at the same time, I kind of don't. So I'm not.
I'm probably
Would,
just gonna go outside
is
at work.
Texas Pickard? Are you in the path?
I'm in like the Northeast.
But I mean, doesn't it cross through the Northeast as well?
Yeah, I think where I'm at, I get to see it like 80% totality or something like that. So like pretty solid.
It's not too bad. It's not 100%, but I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I think 100% in Ohio, right?
I'm sure it's in Ohio too. It's dude, there's a path, and it's crazy looking at just the Airbnb bookings for that path across the country. Everything is really lightly booked, and then there's just this path that follows the path of the eclipse, where everything along that path is just completely booked.
Yeah, I have a buddy at work who's traveling to Cleveland, and he was like, I was bitching. I was in Florida last week for work, and I was bitching about like the one-way ticket home being like $800, and he's like, dude, it was like $1,300 to fly from Philly to Cleveland, and I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, it's for the eclipse. I'm like, damn, I did not know that many people were gonna just be heading out there for that, but I guess it
It's
kind of makes
insane,
sense.
man. I'm a little bit worried what the traffic is going to be like here in a little bit whenever I do end up hitting the road. But
Dang, yeah, y'all giving me FOMO now to to go watch it.
yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, I'm sure, like, knowing my luck, it's just going to be a cloudy day, and I'm not going to be able to see anything. So, you know, RIP, one way or the other. Like, I don't know. I feel like here was my back and forth though. If it's 50% chance of sun and it's just a few hours to see the total eclipse for me, I feel like it's worth that drive just from the perspective that I'll never have the opportunity again. Like, say that it is just this most badass moment where it is incredible and you're like, wow, this was worth it. I'll have to wait how many years before I really get that opportunity again? I would rather go and just say, hey, this actually sucked. I shouldn't have done it, and not have any regrets. Like, maybe waste a day or two and that's it, rather than, like, think about the flip side for the next 10, 20 years.
I saw the last eclipse, and I highly recommend everybody that's in with reasonable driving distance to go get in that path. It's pretty amazing experience. And it was bitching. It really was. It was just awesome.
Beach Dog, how are you doing though, man?
Oh,
Post
thanks,
op.
thanks for asking. I'm doing good. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's sent love and kind words and stuff. Pretty amazing for all you to do that. Means a hell of a lot. I myself, I'm doing okay for what it is. They removed, for those you don't know, I had weird kidney stones growing me in a year from an misdiagnosed infection, low-lying infection that we still don't know what it is, but they decided several operations for me to have. I've been through the first one now. I kind of know what I'm going through. It was a 4-hour surgery. They removed the golf ball, bigger than golf ball size, one of the stones that was spiky. They kind of blow them up and then take them out. But the uncomfortable part is they've put stents in both my kidneys from my kidney to my bladder, and I can feel those. So I can't really do a lot of things. I'm usually active and doing stuff, and it's really hard right now. I'm home from the hospital. Hopefully the next operation comes in the next 3 weeks or so. Hopefully less. I don't know. Obviously the first kidney has to heal a little bit. It's a little shocking that because of the stents, I will continue to bleed from my kidneys because they're foreign objects. And peeing grape juice color is, well, you're like, holy shit, what's going on? But according to the surgeons, this is fine. That's about where I'm at right now. Just getting it through day to day. Glad space is going on. It gives me something to do. I'm glad I'm awake for it too, because I'm constantly passing out and going to sleep. But that's about where I'm at. Still spirits are good. Might sound a little drugged or something right now, but that's where I'm at. I'm gonna make it.
Love that, man. I know that's been something that's been really stressful for you leading up to this, and not an easy procedure. So happy to hear that it's at least going well so far for you.
Yeah, it has its moments, but I'm gonna make it. It'll be all right. Scary part is the first one where you don't know what's going to happen, and you haven't really been under anesthesia in a long time, and now you're a little bit older and you're like, oh fuck, am I going to wake up, is something going to go wrong, and all those things. But the doctors that I have, or the surgeons I have, are amazing, and I'm very comfortable with what's going on there.
Love that, man. Well, I'm happy to hear that. It's definitely been something that I've had my prayers, especially when I saw it pop up on my feed a couple times this week. So I'm just happy to hear you up on stage talking and, in good spirits.
Yeah, the best part is most of my bags were packed, at the bottom of the market. so running around chasing shit coins for me right now is just not a thing.
Love that, man. So you're just chilling right now.
Yeah, just chilling, knowing what's going to happen, knowing that this is going to be an incredible cycle.
Well, dude, I wrote something down from the sermon today at church that actually stuck out, and I think kind of carries over with this too, right? Certainty provides us with conviction, and when you're trading, having too much certainty could be an issue. But I think at the end of the day, when you're investing in something and you're really looking at the underlying fundamentals of what's driving a move, it's a lot easier to have certainty in that bigger picture. And I think that's what we all have with this market, right? And that certainty gives us conviction to be able to see through the volatility that is inherent, that scares a lot of other people away, and that volatility becomes opportunity. And that's all that something
Absolutely.
like this is right now, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. The volatility will continue through this entire cycle at levels that we still haven't seen yet. This is just the beginning.
amen, man. I agree. Like there's a lot more to come. I mean, dude, BTC is not even at 100K yet. There's like we're nowhere near the top of this cycle.
Yeah, retail hasn't showed up yet either.
Exactly, man. So, no, I'm still bullish as heck. All right,
Absolutely.
gents,
I
I've
got
got
a
about
question
5 minutes.
about the I got
Rooster,
a question about the eclipse, dude.
let's hear
Like
it.
you can just straight up look at it, right? Like I'm pretty sure
You cannot. You should not. You can. You
Beach
can't do
Dog,
whatever you
Yeah,
did you look directly
you
at
you
it?
really shouldn't look up at it when it becomes totalitarian or totality. Um, you still really shouldn't, because the corona is still bright and it's sending radiation at your eyeballs, and neutrons flying in really fast and all that stuff. But you can film it. I did film with my regular camcorder the eclipse last time, and I waited until it was almost totality to start filming, and it came out fantastic. Maybe I'll dig that up and post that. It came out fantastic. But I would get the glasses. Like, you can order them online. They're cheap, and
I mean, not anymore.
yeah, probably not anymore. But anywhere in the totality, if it's anything like what happened in our area, is every store or hotel or anything, they were selling these glasses at like 7-Elevens and Circle K's and shit like that, right there at the counter, because that store or that place is in totality and they want to make a buck. They're not that expensive, and they're fantastic to look at through. You can watch it the whole thing. You get to see the diamond ring effect on both sides. Although I don't know if this is complete totality or if this is the one that's less than totality, where you still see more
No,
of
it
the
depends. So this one's going to be complete for some areas of the country, but for others, it's not.
no.
So,
There's two types of eclipses. One is complete totality, and the other one is totality too. The moon is a little further away from us on Earth, so it's a little bit smaller. Not by
this one's a complete. So,
Yeah, and it gives
full
complete. And
experience.
you get the diamond ring effect, and you can. It's called yeah. My wife just said it's called the Ring of Fire this year. So you'll see that ring of fire around the moon, rather than it blocking most of it out. It'll block almost all of it out except for the corona. And in the corona, what you guys are going to see, you'll be able to see, any ejections, just like the Soho satellite that's out there, that shows the explosions off of the sun, the sunspots and stuff like that. You'll see that gas shooting away. It's an amazing, amazing thing to see. So you should probably get glasses, Rooster.
Wasn't there an eclipse like last year? I remember going outside and thought I was on shrooms because like all the lighting was fucked up, and then I
There
When did we?
realized the
was
shadows
in
were
December
crescent shaped.
for a little
Yeah,
bit, but it was
that
only
was.
a partial one, barely. So,
Yeah.
um,
Okay. Wife's reminding me that we saw it in 2018. I think it was. There was one last year in fall, but I think, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is more. Yeah,
yeah,
we didn't see
this
the
one's a
the
real
one
deal.
in October because it was cloudy. That's right. We got
Looks
fucked.
like I'm getting about 50% where I'll
But
be at eclipse, or maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, then you definitely need glasses, or poke a hole in a box, or in a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper, and shine it on the ground.
I feel like you really don't remember it unless you look directly at it without any obstruction.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I remember seeing an eclipse when I was in sixth grade. We all went out there, and we didn't have totality, but we all had shoe boxes where we poked a hole in the top of the shoebox and then looked at it in the bottom of the box, and you could see, the shadow of the moon and everything.
How about this? I'll join a space while it's happening, and I'll be looking at it live, and I'll tell you what happens.
That's awesome.
all right, gents, and I feel bad. I have to cut this off. I've got to deliver some casseroles now.
Nice.
But I will make a deal because this was such a short, offhanded space. Rooster, let's kick up a midweek space. So
Yeah.
either Tuesday, Wednesday, a little post eclipse aftermath. Maybe the world will have ended by that point, and we won't be able to. But so as long as the world doesn't end from this eclipse, there will be a midweek space. Be on the lookout for it.
Cheers, everybody. Have a
All
good rest of
right,
the week.
love you
Peace,
guys.
everybody. Thanks again for all the words and likes and shit like that. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Talk to y'all later. Wonky Stonks are inevitable. Bye.
Peace.